Fuck, where the fuck am I? Help! Someone please! Someone help me! Excuse me, sir. I think there's been a complete misunderstanding. So if you could just answer a few of my... Shutting up. Yep, this is me shutting up. You got my full attention.
Do you ever feel it? The eyes watching you? Shh. You're safe. That's all that matters.
See, about that, the last thing I remember was getting assaulted by a man in a wheezy mask. So... yeah, not sorry. Fuck you, pal. Help! Someone please! There's a psychopath here in a mask!
I'm trying to help you here. You're someone I really respect and I don't want to see any harm come to you. But I'll be honest with you. I don't think you and I are on the same page. And I'm tired of the way you are treating my hospitality. So before you keep on yapping and screaming about, I want you to think wisely for a second. What do you think is the smartest way of going about this? Maybe you should listen to the man in the mask. What do you say? And there he is. That's what I've always liked about you, Vad. Always using your head when confronted with a situation.
Wait, you know who I am? Let me guess. You're a big fan of the show.
Yeah, how did you know?
I guess.
So back to why I brought you here. The answer is simple. Aliens.
Aliens? Like from outer space?
No. Not from outer space. They're from here. But not exactly from here, yet it's very complicated.
Okay, man. I straight up don't believe you.
How can you explain that Mr. Carpenter fellow that visited you then? He was an extraterrestrial. You even saw him go up in his spaceship.
Listen, man. I don't know if half the shit I see is real or not.
You don't have to believe me. They will eventually make themselves known to everyone when the timing suits them. Don't you worry about that. The point is, you're safe within the confines of my bunker to continue your reviews.
Whoa, man. You're expecting me to do a review in here? I don't have my couch, I don't have my TV, nor do I have any material to be doing anything about, so yeah, I can't do anything in here unless you can fucking get something for me.
I see what you mean. I'll see what I can do. Time for you to get started. Gotta keep on making them videos.
Huh. You have a twisted sense of humor, don't you?
Well, I guess I have no choice but to play along with this psycho's game. Maybe if he leaves the room, I can...
Get started.
So guys, it looks like I'm going to be conducting an unorthodox review on War of the Worlds, so... yeah. In the last episode of Mad-Vad, we talked about a creative period of Hollywood that was known as the 50s. We're still there, actually. In fact, we might be there for a little longer than I previously thought, because there are many important movies that were made within the era, and I don't want to pass by those certain films without giving them their well-deserved dues. This especially goes for the 1953 film adaptation of H.G. Wells' novel, The War of the Worlds. Let's talk about H.G. Wells for a second here. I had previously mentioned him and his works in my Metropolis episode, but let's go through the quick rundown again. H.G. Wells is known as one of the well-recognized fathers of science fiction. His literature expanded the genre, and also even inspired movements within the field of science. Besides War of the Worlds, it includes The Invisible Man, The Island of Dr. Moreau, and a personal favorite of mine, The Time Machine. Within his writing, H.G. Wells expanded the scientific notion of plausible events. His approach was vastly superior to that of other writers of his time. He offered various explanations that kept majority of his scenarios in a grounded reality despite the absurdities of the conflicts like aliens invading from Mars or a man that could turn invisible. H.G. Wells once famously wrote, "As soon as the magic trick has been done, the whole business of the fantasy writer is to keep everything else human and real. Touches of prosaic detail are imperative and a rigorous adherence to the hypothesis. Any extra fantasy outside the cardinal assumption immediately gives a touch of irresponsible silliness to the invention." This led to a term that has been dubbed by many as the Wells Law. It's this term plus others that have helped give the scientific aspect of science fiction more credibility. Now let's dig into the actual War of the Worlds novel itself and compare it to its many adaptations. Now, that alone is as challenging as writing a thesis report on time itself and all of its many aspects, but I'm gonna give it my best shot.
Just a suggestion. Maybe you should just get started with the reviews. You probably get more views that way. People usually get bored by bitter rambling.
Alright, fine. I guess fuck whatever I was doing. Let's talk about the original War of the Worlds then.
And now, the War of the World.
When someone is talking about this marvelous classic of the 50s, it is important to list right off the bat the film's extremely awesome qualities. For starters, it is a great technical achievement. Its outstanding special effects still stand as a spectacular showcase of hard work and devotion. Literally, the best way to describe these effects to all of you is by just showing it. It is fucking impressive for 1953 and extremely charming in present day. No wonder this thing won the Academy Award for Best Visual Effects back in the day. And no, it's not because it was the only one nominated in its category that year. It is because the effects blew everyone's fucking mind. The film's design can also be identified as one of the film's strongest attributes. The Martian tripods are imaginative and unique. Throwing away the stereotypical saucer design UFOs, the effects team went with a very off-the-wall look instead, which in the end paid off. I also really enjoy the actual look of the Martians in the film. Every time I look at these aliens, they kind of remind me of a sort of mixture of E.T. meets
Intense.
Simon, the challenge intensified to the max.
Simon. And don't get me started on the sound effects, they're amazing! Alongside a bright color palette, this makes for a beautifully lit spectacle for unsuspecting audiences back then. All these qualities truly make the 1953 adaptation of War of the Worlds a landmark for science fiction. On that note, let's talk about the weaker aspect of the movie, the story. Now, it doesn't necessarily have a bad story, it just lacks a strong narrative. The film kind of follows a scientist by the name of Dr. Clayne Forrester, played by Gene Barry of all people, who witnesses the invasion of the Martians firsthand, along with classic damsel in distress Sylvia Von Byrne, played by Anne Robinson. I say kinda because the film is more interested in telling a different story than that of the source material. It instead goes for a commentary on both the Cold War and the exploration of science versus nature because, it's the 50s. Now don't get me wrong, the film still borrows some plot points from the novel, but like I said, it still is vastly different from H.G. Wells' original work. Overall, despite this weak quality that shows years later, the movie does still hold up pretty well, and I truly enjoy it to this day. I know there are many films out there based on the invasion of the aliens angle, and there are other films that predate this one here, one being Earth vs. the Flying Saucers, which was a beautifully done film that was created by the combined efforts of its director Fred F. Sears and legendary visual effects creator Ray Harryhausen. But truly, the 1953 adaptation of War of the Worlds is the great granddaddy of them all. It is one of the best science fiction films that came out of the 50s. So, I personally encourage all of you out there to go throw in an axe and give it a viewing. It deserves all of its praise, and it needs to be remembered as one of the most important sci-fi movies ever made. happy now?
Very.
Why do I have to check up on him? I don't want to wind up dead.
Gee, I don't know. Maybe it's because you suck at rock, paper, scissors.
I knew you were fucking cheating. Don't give me that.
You know what, Adriaones? Eat my ass. Fuck you.
Asshole. Dear Bizarro Lens, I have given up on my ambitions of being a YouTube reviewer and decided to join a circus act that has just left town. Don't try to find me because I have made up my mind and I am very far away. P.S. I thought a paint job for the room was long overdue. So I hope whoever replaces me likes the color gray. Love, Mad-Vad. Gray is a nice color.
Why did you stop?
I'm just, I'm hungry.
Hungry? Hungry, you say?
Yeah. I'm fucking starving, actually. Like, haven't eaten in hours. Can you do old Mad-Vad a favor and get me something up?
I would love to. You just stay right there. I'll be right back.
Yeah, I bet you will. Thanks again, man. Where's the phone? Okay, thank God. Adriaones.
Hey Vad, just saw your note. How's circus life?
Shut up, Adriaones. Listen, I need you to notify HPC
Hold that thought. I'm getting another call.
Don't you dare hang up on me.
Fuck! Adriaones, don't do this to me.
Oh man, these bits is gonna be so... What are you doing?
Nothing?
Get back to the review. Actually, give me that. Get back to the review.
Well, I can...
No. Get back to the review.
Okay, I was just trying to help, man.
No one would have believed in the early years of the 21st century that our world was being watched by intelligences greater than our own. Yet, across the gulf of space, intellects vast and cool and unsympathetic regarded our planet with envious eyes. And slowly and surely drew their plans against us.
In order to wrap all this stuff up now, I have to discuss one more adaptation of War of the Worlds, and the best possible choice has to be the 2005 big budget reimagining directed by Steven Spielberg. Now, if you're going to remake War of the Worlds as a big budget blockbuster, why not get the king of the blockbusters to helm it? And plus, when you get Tom Cruise running away from explosions and aliens and shit, you automatically get a really fun experience. But the real question is this remake a good remake? Surprisingly, yeah, I would say it is. Because this film holds something that the original one was kind of lacking: a strong personal narrative. Tom Cruise, in a majority of things, is very charismatic and likable. And that same logic applies here, where he plays a troubled father who must guide his children to the safety of Chicago during an alien invasion. He invests you into the survival of him and his family, and you are rooting for the guy as things seem to get rougher and tougher as the story just keeps progressing. The film also has a strong performance from young Dakota Fanning, as she plays Tom Cruise's intellectual daughter.
What?
It's not how you're gonna get through to him. If you want him to listen to you,
What are you? Your mother or mine?
We also have a terrifying cameo of a psychotic Dave Boyle, which has taken refuge inside of a very shitty makeshift bunker against the alien forces. Sounds eerily familiar. I'll address the elephant in the room as well. Goku from Dragon Ball Evolution is in this film, but he doesn't ruin this movie for me. But I can see how he could ruin it for others. I mean, he plays a generic angsty teen with a bad attitude and hair flopped to the side. He wears one glove on his right hand and he constantly fights his dad, knowing and thinking he's right. And it's just, oh my god, the character's fucking annoying. Okay, let's stop talking about characters in general. Let's talk about what War of the Worlds is famously known for, the effects. So let's talk about the effects in this movie. How are they? They're honestly quite good. Yeah, the tripods are actually more closely representative to what they are in the novel descriptions, and even elements of the novel are brought onto the big screen in brutal fashion. Elements that weren't even included in the original 1953 adaptation. Now, I will have to say, I'm not a huge fan of what Spielberg did with the aliens in this movie. They're not typical Martians, and they're definitely not, I don't know, they don't have that feel to them. But they aren't bad. They work, because he's trying to portray them as these realistic type of creatures. They're, curious about humans and stuff. So it works for the context of the movie. But personally, I still prefer the Simon aliens. I don't know, they're fucking cool, okay? But yeah, this is a remake that I actually really quite enjoy. The only problem I could say this movie has is it feels like it loses some of its intelligence from the original. What I mean by that is, it kind of turns into a generic popcorn flick instead of being a science versus nature commentary in which the original explored. Even though they kept some of its elements, it is definitely not interested in exploring that route of the story, and for that, I give it props, because it's trying to tell the story in which the novel was trying to do. In the end, it all comes down to which film told the H.G. Wells stories better. If you're looking for the intellectual story, like the one that is thought-provoking, I would suggest the original, despite it not being a proper adaptation of H.G. Wells' story. But if you're looking for a version that plays as a better movie and does the novel a bit more justice, I would have to say this is a rare instance in which the remake is better than the original. I know, shocking, right? But don't let that stop you from checking out both versions. Many iconic moments come from War of the Worlds, and a lot of great interpretations of the story have been made. But these two are the definitive and most recognizable renditions of the story. Give them both a watch. And remember the influence in which H.G. Wells has had on the genre. He truly is the great-grandfather of science fiction. And if you want further proof, I don't just recommend watching these movies. Read his actual source material. I challenge any one of you to pick up a copy of War of the Worlds and open up its first page and not become mesmerized by the intellectual writing in which it showcases and how its thought-provoking ideals have remained relevant even to present day. Well, that's all I gotta say about War of the Worlds. I hope you all enjoyed the review out there. Although it was a little weird for me on my end, I think the final product came out fine despite the circumstances.
Great show. Awesome work, Mad-Vad. Truly inspirational.
Can I just go now?
Heavens no. I told you, they can be watching us as we speak. You need to stick with me. I'll protect you from now on.
Well, fuck this, man. I'm out of here.
The sweat when it drops down to your butt crack.
Okay. I'm getting another call, so bye.
I'm not even selling the product anymore.
Hello?
What's the status on this bad kid?
he skipped town. You left him out?
Excuses. I put you and that bubbling friend of yours in charge of him, and you lost him? You'll be out of a job, do you understand?
Yes, sir. I'll get right on that.
I knew I could count on you, Frankie. I like you know that?
My name isn't Frankie, it's...
My worst fucking nightmare. Can you get Frankie on the phone? I don't want to talk to your dumbass. You over here suggesting Metropolis, a movie nobody's fucking seen.
Oh, fuck!
Stop. You're ruining everything.
Are you serious right now, man? You're out of breath? Take off that mask, you don't need it.
What do you expect to see if I do?
I don't fucking know, man. Just take it off already. You sound like you're garbling on marbles or some shit.
Dude, come on, man. You ruined the whole bit.
Ariel? Are you fucking serious right now?
What?
You're a fucking psychopath! You're the one who kidnapped me this whole time? What's wrong with you?
Well, isn't it obvious? I'm your #1 fan and you're my favorite idol.
Dude, you need to start living in reality for one moment in your life. I am not famous, and I'm also a nobody. Why would I be an idol for you? Dude, just let me go.
I'm afraid I can't let you do that. If I can't have you, nobody can.
Dude, just give me the gun. Gun! No!
God, where can he be? Why do I waste my time with him? I don't get paid enough for this shit.
Give me the gun, man. No! You're being fucking crazy! No, I'm not!
I always admired you, Vad. Always did. But you leave me with no choice.
Gotcha, asshole.
Hey, dickhead! Piece of shit! You took my asshole boss, and I have shit to do. Fuck. You know the song from Godzilla vs. Megalodon?
The Jaguar song?
Yeah. I want you to sing it. And keep singing it, no matter what you hear.
Man, me, guardian of Earth. Jaguar. Well done, Jaguar. Go, defend our peace. Display the courage that amazes us all. Godzilla and Jaguar. Punch. Let's all fight bravely as a team.